Hello students, welcome to the class. This is Utkarsh classes, UGC net portal, and we are taking European literature and Russian literature in that. ठीक है, हम लोगों ने अभी तक ऑलमोस्ट सारा यूरोपियन लिटरेचर जो है वो कंप्लीट कर लिया है एज यू ऑल नो, और अब हमें इसमें रशियन लिटरेचर करना है. आफ्टर दैट कल आई थिंक ऑफ रहेगा, तो उसके बाद हमारा एंशियंट ग्रीक लिटरेचर बच जाता है. दैट आई विल कंप्लीट, क्योंकि ग्रीक और रोमन लिटरेचर जो है दैट इज़ द बेस ऑफ ऑल द लिटरेचर, सो दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग ऑल्सो. अगर हम कंपेयर करते हैं इन फ्रेंच, जर्मन, रशियन लिटरेचर से, दैन द इटालियन, Roman and Greek literature is very interesting in comparison because they talk about mythologies, they talk about different stories, tragedies, comedies, everything can be seen here, and this is the literature where all the literature come from. But if we talk about Russian literature, it is very much new. Russian literature is not an older one. यहाँ बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो we don't need बिकॉज ट्रांसलेशंस बहुत कम अवेलेबल हैं, और मैक्सिमम जितना भी लिटरेचर है इसका 18th सेंचुरी से स्टार्ट होता है, उससे पहले का हम लोग कोई लिटरेचर इसमें नहीं देखते हैं. ठीक है, सो इट इमर्जेज बेसिकली इन द रशियन लैंग्वेज, राइट. एंड अनंत, यस, पेड जो बैचेस हैं वो हमारे ऐप पे अभी स्टार्ट होंगे आफ्टर जून. Right now we are just giving everything for free, right? And yes, good morning Preeti. Abhi we are giving YouTube live, but after June, for December for sure we will definitely start the paid courses also on our application. So you just stay tuned, you will get the information about it for sure. Our team will contact you if you can share your contact number or some details, then our team will definitely contact you. Yes, I was talking about the Russian literature. So Russian literature is a newer literature that starts here. Yes, Anand, about paper 2 only I am saying. Paper 1 paid course is already going on. Target batch has started and foundation batch is already on a verge of completion. We are going to give I think revision classes in that. अभी target batch है, that is a kind of a crash course. वो अभी चल रहा है paper 1 के लिए, लेकिन paper 2 के लिए after June we will launch. अभी we are just giving it for free. After June 24 you will have that. Okay, so in Russian literature you can find literature in 18th century only. That is the first stage when the literature is beginning, और उसी age को हम age of enlightenment कहते हैं. ठीक है, by the age of enlightenment literature has grown in importance, and from the early 1830s Russian literature underwent an astounding golden age of poetry, prose and drama. 1830s, that is 19th century. 19th century में जब सभी जगह literature flourish हो रहा था, Russians also came and they also giving a best of their literature, and in 20th century obviously they become the part of the mainstream with the formalism. मूवमेंट्स हैं, रशियन मूवमेंट्स. we are going to read कि रशियन मूवमेंट कौन से हैं. दूसरा, आफ्टर रशियन लिटरेचर इट इज़ अ वेरी स्मॉलर वन. इसमें मुश्किल से 10 एक राइटर्स हैं जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. इट्स नॉट बिग. आई वोंट टेक मच ऑफ योर टाइम टुडे टू कंप्लीट दिस लिटरेचर, but trust me, after completing this literature today I am going to give you all the literary movement associated to the European literature. ठीक है, हम इसके बाद यूरोपियन लिटरेरी जो मूवमेंट्स हैं उनको भी आज देखेंगे. ठीक है, तो दिस इज़ द प्लान फॉर टुडे, एंड हियर this is the plan for today, and here we are starting with the Russian literature. Okay, सो इसके जो मेन राइटर्स हैं, लेट मी टेल यू अ ब्रीफ अबाउट दैट. First, in the Middle Ages, that is started, and Alexander Pushkin, Mikhail Mikhail Lermontov, Nikolai Gogol, Ivan Turgenev, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Leo Tolstoy, Maxim Gorky, then Anton Chekhov, Anna Akhmatova, Vladimir Mayakovsky, Maxim Gorky, Ivan Bunin, Andrei Bely. These are the prominent figures of that. मैम मेरा MMA 60% है, OBC कैटेगरी से हूँ, मैं अप्लाई कर, बिल्कुल आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. नो वे कि कहीं पे कोई चेंजेस है, बिकॉज वट एवर कैटेगरी यू बिलोंग टू, बट इफ़ यू हैव ओके 50% है. Oh, you need to go through the NTA website, see the revised rule. If OBC can apply in 50%, then do check. According to me, you cannot. ठीक है, I read it 60, but if you have 50% only in your masters, then in the OBC category you cannot apply. This is for I think SC, ST, or that is PW, physically handicapped category. For OBC it is 55%, for general it is 55%. But you can just go and check the revised rule on NTA website, and you will understand what the exactly figures are. That will be better for you. Yes, so let's start with the Russian literature, right? So we are starting with the first prominent writer of Russian literature, Maxim Gorky. Maxim Gorky belongs to 19th century of Russian literature. But if we go with the ages wise, and we read that who are the prominent writer or the foremost writer came in this race to write the literature in German, then we know that early history of Russia belongs to their own basic chronicles and their Russian writings. There are no much literature belongs to that, and this is called Old East Slavic language or literature. Okay, it is known as, the first is early middle age, which is also known as Old ईस्ट स्लाविक लैंग्वेज और लिटरेचर. इसको इस नाम से भी जानते हैं. ठीक है, इसको इस नाम से भी जानते हैं. जॉर्ज सेल्वानिक्स, एंड इन्हीं की स्टोरीज यहाँ पे यूक्रेन, रशिया, बेलारूस से आती थी. इन दैट इज़ नोन एज द टेल्स और द हाईलैंड टेल्स ऑफ दिस पीरियड. एंड there are no much important writers, or the famous names are here which we can consider for that. Right now, if we entered into 18th century literature, that is known as the first developed period of Russian literature. Then Alexander Petrovich is a writer who also belongs to French classicism and has written literature in that age also. But here in the 18th century, there are a few writers. I will give you the names for that. We will go century wise. If we talk about 18th century, then the first writer is Vasilievich Lomonosov. He is the writer and he is famous for his one work only, that is Peter the Great. This is the first great work from Russian literature which is recognized. So, you need to know something about this work, not the completely one, but yes, something should be good. इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा जान लीजिए कि जो ये फर्स्ट नोन वर्क है वो किस तरीके का है, क्या राइटिंग्स है उसमें. देन प्रोमिनेंट राइटर्स में एटीन सेंचुरी में केवल हम इसी राइटर को देखेंगे. देन हेयर कम्स द गोल्डन एज, दैट इज कॉल्ड 19th सेंचुरी. सो वी शुड से दैट 19th सेंचुरी is called as golden age of literature. Golden age of Russian literature. In this age the literature flourished in all the forms and many people came and they started writings. It became popular only in the 19th century. So that is what Maxim Gorky also belongs to. So we are now taking this 19th century. We are starting the literature with the 19th century literature. Writers: Maxim Gorky, 1868-1936. This is the period he belonged to, that is 19th century and 20th century both he belongs to. He won Nobel Prize in 1906. He was basically he's basically famous for the work The Mother. This is the must read work. You need to read this work properly. The story is about the revolutionary factory workers. Bertolt Brecht has adopted this work for her play The Mother. इन्होंने इसी के ऊपर प्ले लिखा है और इसके जो कैरेक्टर है निलोवना वेल्सोवा, शी इज़ फेमस वन. इनका जो ये वर्क है दैट इज़ वेरी मच कंसिडर्ड. इनके इस वर्क के ऊपर देर आर इट रेज लाइक वेरियस क्वेश्चंस एंड people say that this is the best work in the whole Russian literature. So it's like Russian literature cannot be completed without reading this work. If we are talking about Maxim Gorky, then let's see about him. There are many other works of Maxim Gorky. We should also know, we have just talked about only one work, but Gorky's most famous work of the early stories जो इन्होंने लिखी थी, Old as a Will, that is 26 Men and a Girl is a very famous one. इनके जो other works हैं उसमें stories आएगी. "26 Men and a Girl", The Palestinians, 1901 का ये वर्क है, but इसकी जगह The Lower Depths is a most famous one. This is a complete work, The Lower Depth. Then Children of the Sun, (1905). These are the best work he is famous for. Then The Life of a Useless Man. 1908 These all are novels जो लिखवाया है. मदर भी इनका नॉवल है और बाकी के वर्क्स भी नॉवल है. जो 6 Men and a Girl है, दैट इज़ अ शॉर्ट स्टोरी. नाउ हिज अ फ्यू इम्पॉर्टेंट प्लेज. इनके जो प्लेज हैं उसमें फर्स्ट इज चिल्ड्रन ऑफ द सन जो मैंने लिखवाया है. दिस इज़ अ प्ले. इट्स अ शॉर्ट स्टोरी. बाकी दोनों इनके नॉवेल्स हैं. रिसेप्शन and then queer people. These are the important works. His autobiography is My Childhood. (1913 to 14) and this is autobiography. These are the works of Maxim Gorky. You all should know. इसमें से आपको मदर पढ़ना है. जो नॉवेल्स हैं इनका द लाइफ ऑफ अ यूजलेस मैन दैट शुड बी रेड. ये पढ़ना है. और प्ले में से आपको चिल्ड्रन ऑफ द सन करना है. माय चाइल्डहुड में से आप कुछ इनके बारे में जान सकते हैं. देन नाउ next in the age is we'll see according to the age. First let's see a few things has not been arranged properly, so just I'm taking it. It's 8. Alexander Pushkin is the next writer of 19th century. That is 1799 1837 he belongs to. This is 19th century and he is considered as the founder of Russian literature. He is best known for his poetic drama Eugen Onegin. That is the different style of writing he has initiated and has introduced to the Russian literature. That has been written in 1825 to 1832. This is a poetic novel. He became an ideal hero for most of the Russian literary heroes, and the entire work is written in 389 stanzas of iambic tetrameter, which is famously now known as Pushkin stanza or Eugen stanza. इसको particularly अब अलेक्जेंडर पुष्किन के नाम से पुष्किन स्टैंजा या वर्क के नाम से यूजिन ओंजिन स्टैंजा भी बोला जाता है. The rhyming scheme is A B A B C C D D E F E F G G. This is the rhyming scheme of this work. Now Vikram Seth adopted this stanza for his great work The Golden Gate in 1986. The story told by the narrator of a fictionalized version of Pushkin's own public image. The main theme in this work is the relationship between the real and fictional life. This is a very good work, one should know. और इसमें लिटरेरी जो हीरो है दैट बिकम एन आइडियल फॉर ऑल द रशियन हीरोज़, कि इस तरीके के कैरेक्टर होने चाहिए, इस तरीके के राइटर्स होने चाहिए, इस तरीके के जो है लोग एक्चुअली होने चाहिए. बट यहाँ पे फिक्शन और रियलिटी के बीच में रिलेशनशिप और डिफरेंसेस को बताया गया है. दिस इज़ अ वेरी गुड वर्क. ओके, देन उसके बाद यहाँ पे जो राइटर आते हैं, मिखाइल लर्मोनटोव. He was a painter and a writer as well. The next writer is Mikhail Lermontov. He belongs to 1814, 1841, a very short time period he has served here. It's not the literary period, but his lifetime period is this only. And he is famous for his psychological novel, or you can say he is a founder of psychological novel in Russian literature. Psychology fiction in Russian literature. Now when we talk about his works, prose में the best prose he is known for is the hero of our time. This is the best work related to the psychological novel, is the hero of our time. (1842). And in the drama A Strange Man. ये केवल मैं आपको आउट ऑफ ऑल केवल वो वर्क बता रही हूँ जो आपको पढ़ने हैं. That translated and published after his death. He was also a poet, and No, I'm Not Byron is the best work by him, poem. No, I'm Not Byron. 1832. The Death of a Poet, 1837. These are basically the works, and he has also written short story same with the same title. The Death of the Poet is also being written as a short story. ठीक है, इस यही नाम से शॉर्ट स्टोरी भी है. In the same year. So this is next writer, your Mikhail Lermontov, and then after that the famous writer which we should talk about is Nikolai Gogol. That is again a 19th century writer. I have him. Nikolai Gogol, 1809-1852, a 19th century writer, and he is famous with the name Gogol. Gogol used grotesque famously in his work. He is a Russian novelist, short story writer, playwright of Ukrainian origin. Gogol was one of the first to use the technique of surrealism and grotesque in his works. Right, grotesque in his work. He is the best known for the work Overcoat. And Fyodor Dostoevsky has said that we all come from Gogol's Overcoat. ये एक बहुत ही वाइड वर्क है. दिस इज़ द बेस्ट वर्क. इस पे इंडियन और हॉलीवुड बॉलीवुड सभी में इस पे मूवी भी बनी है. यू हैव टू रीड दिस वर्क. नॉट शुड बट यू हैव टू रीड दिस वर्क. इस पे से क्वेश्चंस आते ही आते हैं. नो डाउट इस पे से क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. ठीक है. निकोलाई गोगोल इज आई शुड से मस्ट रीड राइटर थॉरोली. इनके वर्क्स को देखेंगे. There is another slide. No. Okay. Then his works. Let's see. First, in the drama, Marriage is a comedy, and 1835. Drama में first आएगा Marriage. 1836. It's a comedy. Second is the Government Inspector. Again a comedy. 1837. He has written various essays also, but we are just leaving the non-fictional work in the fiction. Now novels. This is the most important one which he is famous for. तो novels में इनके ट्रायलॉजीज काफ़ी हैं, जिसमें इवनिंग ऑन अ फार्म नियर डिकानका, जिसमें आपके 4 नॉवल हैं. इट्स ए टेट्रालॉजी. देन इवनिंग ऑन द फार्म नियर डिकानका वॉल्यूम 2, वॉल्यूम 3 करके इन्होंने इसमें लिखे हैं. दिस इज़ अ कलेक्शन ऑफ शॉर्ट स्टोरीज. देन मिर्गोरूड अरबेस्क, इनके शॉर्ट स्टोरीज कलेक्शन के अंदर एक आएगा अरबेस्क. और नॉवेल्स के अंदर इनके जो आपको पढ़ने हैं वो हैं द ओवरकोट, एंड क्या है डेड सोल्स. यस, ये दोनों पढ़ने हैं. ठीक है, ये दोनों पढ़ने हैं. यू कैन नॉट लीव एनी ऑफ दैट. आपको ये दोनों पढ़ने हैं. और शॉर्ट स्टोरीज कलेक्शन में आपको इनका ध्यान रखना है. नेम अरबेस्क. अरबेस्क इज अ शॉर्ट स्टोरी कलेक्शन. (1835). दिस इज़ द इम्पॉर्टेंट वन. इसमें काफ़ी हिस्ट्री रिलेटेड थिंग्स हैं और बाकी सिंपल स्टोरीज़ हैं अबाउट द लाइफ. ठीक है, ये इनके फिक्शंस थे. और पोइट्री में ओड टू इटली इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पोएम. इन पोइट्री this is important. Sorry, 29. This is your Nikolai Gogol. Turgenev. Next is Ivan Turgenev, 1818-1883. He is also a Russian poet, translator, dramatist, and short story writers. His first major publication is a short story collection entitled The Sportsman Sketches, was the milestone for Russian realism. That is Russian realism. His works, House of Gentlefolk, Father and Sons, is the best work written by him and you need to read. इसके details में से questions आते हैं. The Diary of a Superfluous Man, First Love, King Lear of Steppes. ठीक है, ये इनके वर्क्स हैं जिसमें से दिस वन एंड सॉरी द डायरी एंड किंग लियर, ये तीन इनके बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट वर्क हैं. देन इफ वी काउंट ऑन प्लेस, द प्रोविंशियल लेडी, फॉर्च्यून्स फूल, अ माउथ इन द कंट्री में से केवल द प्रोविंशियल लेडी इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. दीज आर द इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्क्स written by him. Father and Sons इनके बहुत important works में से आता है, which you need to read because it changes the ideology of the modern man. He also shared his philosophy about the age of enlightenment and various philosophies has been given by him. इनसे बहुत सारे writers हैं जो influenced थे. It's not only for one work but इनसे influenced थे बहुत सारे राइटर्स. अब अबाउट द नॉवेल्स अगर हम कहते हैं, यहाँ पे फादर एंड सन्स के अलावा और कौन सी इंपॉर्टेंट नॉवल है जो आपको पढ़नी, दैट इज स्मोक. ठीक है, 1867 का वर्क है स्मोक, दैट इज ऑल्सो टू रीड. ठीक है, एंड देन इसके बाद दैट्स इट. ठीक है, यही एक वर्क है जो आपको और पढ़ना है इसमें. रेस्ट इज ओके. इनका एक वर्क है फॉस्ट, दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉवेला बट दैट इज ऑल्सो अबाउट द कैरेक्टर. फॉस्ट हैज बीन टेकन टू राइट हिज कैरेक्टर, सो बाकी सारी चीज़ों को आप छोड़ सकते हैं. बट दीज आर द वर्क्स विच यू नीड टू रीड, क्योंकि इन पे कुछ प्रोविंशियल लाइफ्स के बारे में, कुछ रशियन लाइफ के बारे में, उनके ट्रेसेस के बारे में, कैरेक्टर्स के बारे में यू विल गेट टू नो अबाउट एंड दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज दैट इज़ द ओनली पर्पज़ ऑफ राइटिंग समथिंग. ठीक है, so we should do that. We should read these writers properly. Now the next writer is Fyodor Dostoevsky, 1821-1881 is the Fyodor Dostoevsky, was a Russian novelist, philosopher, short story writer, essayist and journalist. Right, he has written various works. He is a translator also. He is a transliterary person who has read various works from other literature also to understand the actual dimensions of literature, actual dimensions of writings, ki what should be followed, what one should adopt to write, what kind of knowledge one should have for the purpose of writing. So this is really important. And another thing about him that he always explored the human conditions in a troubled political and social stages. So his works are also about these things. और जो आपको इनके works पढ़ने हैं वो यहाँ पे दे रखे हैं, उनमें से बता देती हूँ. फर्स्ट इज नोट्स फ्रॉम अंडरग्राउंड, इज़ अ मस्ट रीड वर्क, क्योंकि इसमें इन्होंने ही स्प्लिट्स इनटू टू स्टाइलिस्टिक डिफरेंट पार्ट, ये दो पार्ट में इन्होंने डिवाइड करके लिखा है. द प्रोटैगनिस्ट इज़ अ फर्स्ट पर्सन नरेटर, और यहाँ पे फ्योडोर डोस्टोवस्की हैज़ बेसिकली टॉक्ड अबाउट द style of writing and that is about the narration style he has talked about. So he talked about the multiple narrator and the single narrator. So here also the first person narrator is here, who is a 40 years old civil servant which is known as the underground man, because he is 40 years, he is a civil servant, so he cannot just reveal his identity with his work, he has to hide it somehow. ठीक है, he has to hide it because it is impossible for each and everyone to reveal their identities thoroughly, especially for the government servants. And the only fact about his situation is that he has quit the service, live in a basement flat that is also an underground one in the outskirts of St. Petersburg, and his finances of livelihood from a modest inheritance. उसके जो भी प्रॉपर्टी या कुछ थे उसको किराए पे देके कुछ अपना लिविंगहुड चलाता था. तो दैट इज़ द नोट्स फ्रॉम हिम. ही हैज़ टॉक्ड अबाउट हिज एक्सपीरियंसेस ऑफ द लाइफ. ठीक है. देन इसके बाद आता है क्राइम एंड पनिशमेंट इज़ अ बेस्ट कंसिडर्ड वर्क फ्रॉम हिम, जिसके अंदर यहाँ मल्टीपल नरेशन एंड मल्टीपल वॉइसेस की बात करी है इन्होंने. सो ये भी सेंट पीटरबर्ग में ही सेट है. ठीक है. एंड इट इज़ अबाउट स्टूडेंट ऑफ सेंट पीटरबर्ग दैट इज़ रोडियन रास्कलनिकोव. इनके जो नेम्स हैं वो भी इस तरीके के हैं दैट इज़ वेरी कॉम्पिटेंट टू द कैरेक्टर. सो रास्कलनिकोव इज़ अ वेरी फेमस कैरेक्टर डिजाइन बाय दोस्तोवस्की. ये फेमस थे इसकी वजह से. हु प्लान्स टू किल एन अनस्क्रपलस pawnbroker, a old woman who stores money and valuable object in her flats. Basically, Raskolnikov is a tenant in a house of an old lady, and she used to irritate a lot. She used to talk or scream a lot on the tenants when they are unable to give the money on time, but she has kept all the money and valuable things in the home and in a safe, and she was not even using it. She was not even giving it to someone, and all the time she is a very miser and thing. Her husband is also being is suffering. It seems that he is also suffering. So one day when she was shouting and again calling for Raskolnikov, he just did something unknowingly. By mistake he took a step and that went wrong. And by that step basically the lady died. ठीक है. He just blasted on her. She fell down. Something has fallen on her head and she died. It was not a murder, but she died. The husband came and he said, okay, be quiet. I am not going to tell it. Even I feel free now. It won't irritate me. So now the police has come. It's been asked for everyone. They said ki no, there is nothing like that. I have even compensated for everything and I don't know anything about it. So he was quiet, and it seems like very he has to convince himself for these crimes which are justified, but if they committed in order to remove the obstacle from their places, it is highly condemnable crimes in Russia. So he wanted to save himself from it, but his friends and girlfriends and all, they started speaking about it because he just told it to one person and it spread like anything, and ultimately he got caught. So it was not a deed, but how it was presented to all became a crime. This is the reality of Raskolnikov. This is a very important character which you should read. And next is Brother Karamazov. This is also the story which you need to read anyhow, because इसमें से और Crime and Punishment is the best work of Russian. ये Russian classics में से भी आता है. ठीक है. ये largest work है इनका, and it is considered as magnum opus, the first great work. Magnum opus of Dostoevsky. This is composed of 12 books. This is composed of 12 books. ठीक है. बेसिकली अभी यही वर्क्स हैं जो आपको देखने हैं. इसके अलावा देर इज़ नो नीड. द हाउस ऑफ द डेड इज़ ऑल्सो अ वर्क, बट यू कैन जस्ट लीव इट. इसमें से तो क्वेश्चंस नहीं आते. अंकल्स ड्रीम एंड हाउस ऑफ द डेड इज़ ऑल्सो एन इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्क. ठीक है. दिस इज़ फ्योडोर डोस्टोवस्की. दीज आर द वर्क्स, और ये भी आपका मस्ट रीड वर्क है. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज़ Leo Tolstoy. 1829 1910 is a lifetime of Leo Tolstoy. He was a Nobel laureate. He got the nominations for the Nobel Prize of Literature every year from 2002 to 2006. इनको हर साल nominate किया गया था, but he didn't receive it somehow. ठीक है, and he belongs to an aristocratic family, and his novels, that is War and Peace and Anna Karenina, are the masterpiece of literature. So let's see what are the basic novels. इनके बिलीव्स के ऊपर भी बात करनी चाहिए, दैट ही इज़ शाइकोफेनोर, he is Christianity, believe in Christianity, Christian anarchism, pacifism, Georgism, hunting. He was he believe in vegetarianism, and this is what he basically belongs to. ठीक है, इनके यही जो वर्क्स वगैरह हैं, these are the basic. इनके काफ़ी सारे वर्क्स के ऊपर मूवीज़ बनी हैं. Now, his works, Family Happiness, The Death of Ivan Lynch and Haji Murad, ये इनके works हैं. You can just go through these things. Family Happiness is important work. Then Death of Ivan Lynch आप छोड़ सकते हो. Haji Murad भी you can. Now non-fiction जो इनके work हैं, क्या है मैम? दिसंबर के नोटिफिकेशन में OBC, नॉन क्रीमी लेयर, SC/ST एंड PWD के 50% था. ओके, देन यू कैन फिल. देर इज़ नो हार्म इन फिलिंग द पेपर. आप उसको फिल कर दीजिए. ठीक है, इट्स गुड अनंत. इफ़ यू हैव चेक्ड, इट्स गुड, यू कैन फिल इट. नाउ द वर्क्स आर, इनके जो नॉवेल्स हैं उनमें ये नॉवेल्स हैं दोनों. वॉर एंड पीस is a very bulky novel, and Anna Karenina is a very interesting novel. This is must read. ये work आपको पढ़ना ही पढ़ना है. Anna Karenina, this is must read work. Then The Kingdom of God is Within You. ये भी आपका बहुत important work है, because यहाँ पे this work inspired गांधी जी and King Martin Luther Jr. ये यहाँ पे philosophies को दिखाता है, that is non-violence, and one should not driven toward the philosophies of like anarchism को मना करता है. You are just following, you are just not putting your own mind. तो he also talked about empiricism. He also talked about empiricism. ठीक है, तो confession है जो भी है. Family Happiness, The Kingdom of the God is Within You, War and Peace and Anna Karenina. These are the best work you need to read of him. And इनके काफ़ी वर्क्स के ऊपर जो मूवीज़ बनी है वो भी देख लीजिएगा. इस तरीके के क्वेश्चंस भी कभी कभार पूछ लेते हैं कि व्हाट आर द वर्क्स ऑफ दिस पर्सन, और आउट ऑफ दीज वर्क्स आर बीइंग टेकन फॉर लाइक पिक्चराइजेशन. ठीक है, देन नेक्स्ट राइटर it's Leo Tolstoy we have done. Next writer is Anton Chekhov. Anton Chekhov, 1860-1904, quote by him: "Medicine is my lawful wife and literature is my mistress." Right, so he is more interested in the literature, and by profession he was a medical person. So now his works are Seagull, Uncle Vanya is the best work. We need to read it because इसमें से questions आते हैं. इनके इसके ऊपर बहुत अच्छी philosophies है. The Cherry Orchard he is famous for, right? The Sisters, and the short story is The Murder, The Island of Shackleton, etc. The Lady Within the Dog. ये इनके स्टोरीज हैं जो फेमस है, लेकिन चेरी ऑर्चर्ड एंड अंकल वानिया आर द बेस्ट वर्क ही इज़ नोन फॉर, एंड सीगल is a theatrical representation, that is a drama. All these are dramas basically, और ये इस इन अपने ड्रामास के लिए ही मेनली ही इज़ फेमस फॉर. Uncle Vanya is basically the work which has inspired many of the writers, and there is story writings, क्योंकि इसको बहुत जगह पे जब हम फॉर्मलिज्म, न्यू क्रिटिसिज्म या कोई भी थ्योरी पढ़ते हैं तो वी यूज दिस एग्जांपल फॉर इंटरप्रिटेशंस. ठीक है, यही है इनके मेन वर्क्स के अंदर. सो नाउ we are talking next, after that next will be the 20th age. जैसे 19th सेंचुरी को हम लोगों ने गोल्डन सेंचुरी कहा था, ऐसे ही 20th सेंचुरी is known as silver age of literature. That is the silver age of literature in Russian literature. There are many writers are here who are famous and are the part of it. So let's go for these writers. Let me give you the introduction of the 20th century writers now. First is Boris Pasternak, 1890-1920. Boris Pasternak is a very famous and important writer of 20th century and of Russian language especially. He started publishing his work also in Berlin, that is Germany, and his first book is My Sister. That is what he has written, My Sister Life, that is 1917. ठीक है, the first work is My Sister and Life, 1970 is the first work. He is also Nobel laureate in 1958, and Dr. Zhivago is the best story considered by him जो आपको पढ़नी है. Dr. Zhivago, ये it took place during the Russian Revolution. It is a physician and a poet both. ठीक है, he is a physician and poet both who is struggling and basically started writing. तो डॉक्टर जिवागो आपको पढ़ना है, and it's set during World War II. ठीक है, मेनली वर्ल्ड वॉर सेकेंड के दौरान इन्होंने ये वर्क लिखा था. दूसरा इनका वर्क जो इसमें आता है, दैट इज द लास्ट समर. द लास्ट समर 1934. ये दो ही वर्क हैं इनके कलेक्शन में विच आर इम्पॉर्टेंट. नेक्स्ट इज मिखाइल Sholokov, that is also a Nobel Prize winner in 1965, and इनके works जो हैं, And Quiet Flows, The Dawn. It is an epic novel in 4 volumes published during 1925 to 40. That is it based in World War I and II. And Dawn is the name of the river. Its first 3 volumes published between 1925 to 32, and the 4th volume in 1940. That is before. You can say he has completed this novel before World War II. So it lies between the time of World War I and World War II. And Dawn यहाँ पे रिवर का नाम है जिसके थ्रू इन्होंने स्टोरी बताने की कोशिश की है. तो this is the only work which you need to read in this writer. Then Alexander Solzhenitsyn, right? Alexander Solzhenitsyn, और ये भी नोबेल प्राइज़ विनर है 1917 में। इनका जो वर्क है वन डे इन द लाइफ ऑफ इवान डेनिसोविच, ये केवल आपको नाम ध्यान रखना है, एंड इट इज़ अ स्टोरी अबाउट अ सोवियत लेबर कैंप. इट डील्स विद वन एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ इवान डेनिसोविच इन अ प्रिजन, राइट. एंड गुलाग आर्कीपेलागो, ये इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्क है. द गुलाग आर्कीपेलागो इज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्क जो आपको इस राइटर का पढ़ना है. Alexander Pushkin we have done. Then Mikhail Bulgakov, he is the best known for his work The Master and Margarita. Yes, The Master and Margarita is the best work written by him, which you need to know, and this work is influenced by Goethe's Faust. This is about the master is the Faust, and he is influenced towards someone, that is Margarita. The character in this work is a professor, lecturer and also magician. ठीक है, तो it's a very inspiring work. It has a good philosophy along with the human follies or human flaws. कौन कौन सी खामियाँ होती हैं, किस तरीके से we can be ideal, we can be best, we can be bad. Now next is Vladimir Mayakovsky. Mayakovsky is a very famous writer, and Vladimir Mayakovsky basically is a theorist also. इन्होंने जगह जगह पर linguistic theories भी दी है. And Backbone Flute, this poem deals with the Russian realism. Then A Cloud in the Trousers, The West is a collection of poem. इनके जो plays हैं The Bath House and Bedbug, ये इनके plays हैं Vladimir Mayakovsky के. Let me see if there is any other work which I think it should be. He belongs to Communist Party of Russia, and yes, The War and the World. The War and the World 1917. ठीक है, and the last work is All Right. You just need to remember the names. All Right. (1927). ये केवल आप नाम याद रखिए. There is no need to go in the detail of this writer because he is famous, no doubt, but for the theories, but for his ideologies, not basically for his literary works, right? Next is Ivan Bunin, who is a Nobel Prize winner in 1933, and he is important because the texture of his poem and his stories are referred to Bunin barricade. जिस तरीके से ये लिखते थे उसको इसी का नाम दे दिया गया है, about the Bunin barricades, and he translated William Longfellow in Russian. He is an American writer जिसके बुक थानाटॉप्सिस को इन्होंने ट्रांसलेट किया था इन रशिया में, एंड दैट इज कंसिडर्ड एज द बेस्ट ट्रांसलेशन ऑफ दिस वर्क, राइट. इनका जो वर्क है द विलेज इज कंसिडर्ड एज द बेस्ट वर्क रिटर्न. देन ड्राई वैली, डार्क एवेन्यू, कर्स्ड डेज, दैट इज द डायरी ही हैज़ रिटर्न. ये सभी बुक इनके इम्पॉर्टेंट हैं. जो डायरी है या शॉर्ट स्टोरीज है उन्हें छोड़ के ये दोनों वर्क आपको थोड़ा थोड़ा जितना भी अवेलेबल होता है वो देखने की कोशिश कीजिए, बिकॉज क्वेश्चन कैन कम ऑन हिम. Next is Vladimir Nabokov. We know that he is a writer, cannot be avoided. Without him, we cannot think of completing the Russian literature anyhow, because he belongs to this age, he belongs to the Silver Age, and Vladimir Nabokov is the one who has given the best work of the world, or you can say the world's classics. ठीक है, इन्हें वर्ल्ड क्लासिक्स में से लिया जाता है। इनके जो वर्क है ललिता, दैट इज़ द बेस्ट वर्क, एंड आई थिंक मैक्सिमम ऑफ द like readers or the students of this age, your age, who are preparing for especially UGC net or any such examination of English literature went through this particular work. ठीक है, इसको काफ़ी ज़्यादा क्रिटिसाइज़ भी किया गया है, इस वर्क को बहुत ज़्यादा पॉपुलराइज भी किया गया है बिकॉज ऑफ द ओब्सीनिटी एंड सेक्सुअल प्रेजेंटेशन इन दिस वर्क। तो इसको कहीं कहीं पे आई शुड से कि इस वर्क को क्रिटिसाइज़ बहुत ज़्यादा किया गया है बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ सेक्सुअलिटी, द अनमैच्ड रिलेशनशिप, the social structure and immorality that is being presented in this work. So he became famous for such ideas which actually are not important, but that is, the presentation is more important in literature, and he presented it in a very direct way which influenced the contemporary youth and people. He also used Sigmund Freud's psychology about sexuality and has presented this work. So Nabokov के जो ये वर्क है फर्स्ट जिसे हम अभी डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, दैट इज़ ललिता. दिस इज़ अ मस्ट रीड वर्क. इसमें जो कैरेक्टर है ललिता, दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यू नीड टू गो थ्रू द साइकोलॉजी ऑफ इट. And Pale Fire is again a very important work, and the title is taken from Macbeth of Shakespeare. ठीक है, इनके ये दो वर्क हैं जो आपको देखने हैं मेनली. दैट इज़ व्लादिमीर नाबोकोव. इनका बस इतना ही सफिशेंट है विच वी आर सीइंग. एंड देन if there is another, Nikolai Gogol we have done, Leo Tolstoy we have done, Anton Chekhov we have done, and then 20th century writers we are doing. So in 20th century writer, if I find there are other writers which can be done or who are undone, let's do them first. Yes, that is Viktor Shklovsky. First do that, and then we will write the other writers. So Viktor Shklovsky is a writer and theorist, and इनका Jew on Land, Bad on Sofa, House at Tubania, और इनका जो नॉन फिक्शन वर्क है, these are more important as he was a theorist. and इनके जो वर्क है Jew on Land is important. इसमें इन्होंने hatred for community को शो करा है. he wrote it very well, he presented it very well, and we cannot say that this is just an idea or he has just taken up it. No, this is very well taken. ठीक है, इस तरीके से इन राइटर्स को आपको करना है. नाउ इन द 20th century writers we have a few more writers here to discuss. First, Joseph Brodsky. Joseph Brodsky. He is also a Russian American poet and essayist. इनके जो works हैं, they are more about themes and forms. He selected about the poem. He is a lyricist. He has written many poem, and that is the selected poem is a collection that is 1965 to 85, which is nothing to mention here because इनके जो वर्क्स हैं जिनको हम देखते हैं तो उसमें जॉन्डन वगैरह की पोएम से ही वॉज वेरी मच इन्फ्लुएंस्ड एंड हैज़ ट्रांसलेटेड इनटू रशियन एज वेल. इनका जो ऐसे है दैट इज़ लेस देन वन इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. एंड इनके प्ले में मार्बल्स इज अ 3 act प्ले. It's a 3 act play. This is important, this is must read. आपको ये पढ़ना है. इनके कुछ एक वर्क्स पे, शॉर्ट स्टोरीज पे फिल्म्स भी बनी हैं. ठीक है. He has not written any novel. केवल इनके यही वर्क फेमस हैं. एंड नेक्स्ट अनदर ड्रामा इज डेमोक्रेसी. These are the works by Joseph Brodsky, then Anna Akhmetova, Anna Akhmetova, she is also shortlisted for Nobel Prize 1965 but has not received it, and her pen name is Anna Akhmetova. The real name is Anna Gorenko, and she is famous for her poetry about World War II. इनके जो वर्क्स हैं, उसकी जो थीम्स हैं, उनमें यही चीज़ है. शी हैज़ रिसीव्ड वेरियस ऑनर्स ऑल्सो. इनके वर्क्स की थीम में रशिया रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन यूरोप एंड अमेरिका, एंड दैट इज बीइंग रिप्रेजेंटेड. शी इज़ अ सिम्बलिस्ट. यस मधु, हेलो. Her first collection is Evening and then Rosary, which are famous for the Russian landscape and the cultural representation. She was also culturally also influenced, and can be these things can be seen in her works. Then इनके जो publications हैं, उसमें हम देखते हैं first जो मैंने आपको बताया, Evenings. (1914), then from 6 books. केवल इनके नाम ध्यान रखना है. Nothing on a serious mode. You don't have to read all these works. ठीक है. ये है Anna Akhmetova. That's it. You just need to remember this writer. There is nothing like you need to go something in detail about her. Let me see about one more contemporary writer. So guys, these are the main writers of the age which you need to read. There are no other writers which I can tell you. These are the writers who has contributed well and get their fame out of their contribution in Russian literature. The works are also translated into many languages, especially English, so that they are being read worldwide and get fame for these writers. So इन writers को अगर हम ढंग से करते हैं, इनको ढंग से prepare करते हैं, तो there are no chance कि we can lose anything in the syllabus. Now you have completed your Italian, French, German and Russian literature, right? As I already told you, that only thing which we are left with is the ancient literature, which I will start from the day after tomorrow, that is Friday, right? So all the best guys, and stay tuned. We will meet on the same time 11 a.m. for your next step or the next syllabus, that is ancient literature. I can give the whole idea to you today. That is divided into Greek and Roman, right? We will start with day after tomorrow. So bye everyone, take care.